Like I could have a 4K camera and a Yeti mic, and I just think Google will reduce it to porridge anyway. So it's really not worth worrying about.
Welcome to the Ticket to Fly Past.
Welcome everybody, and say a big hello to Joe Sullivan, who works on our help desk.
Hello everyone, pleasure to be here.
Okay, Joe, let's get straight into it. What's the worst snack for IT support?
I would have to say I got some prawn crackers when I went to the cinema to see something, and we had Chinese before, or had something that gave me prawn crackers, and I thought, why are we not selling these in a cinema? So I'm going to say prawn crackers, because that's the last time I thought about the volume of a snack relative to when you're meant to be doing something else.
Okay, good answer, because because they're crumbly. Because I'm entirely boring, but I read somewhere that bananas are a good snack because they don't like get bits in your keyboard and things like that.
Excuse me, we didn't plan this. Continue. Sorry, I was just eating my banana.
We can have a whole new subscriber count of people banana eating interests.
Yeah, this is going to OnlyFans, right? You told me.
Hey, if we get 500 subscribers, then we're going to get you eating a banana every.
In a different kind of NDA. What? So you meant from a cleanliness perspective? Anything
no,
that
I meant from any perspective that Joe Sullivan has.
Eating it like anything I can eat like a duck, where I don't actually use my hands.
It was an open-ended question. So no, I think we have comprehensively answered that question.
Smashing it.
Brilliant. Everyone now knows the best and the worst snacks. So, the real question is, because the client said to me once upon a time, IT's boring. And I'm not disagreeing. I'm not agreeing. I know where they're coming from. But it can be seen as quite a dry subject. So let me ask you this, Joe. Is cybersecurity actually really boring?
If today's topic of conversation is anything to go by, I would go so far as to say it is not boring. It is actually hilarious. That's what I'd say.
We probably need to elaborate on that a bit, Joe, because people might be watching this and they might have just lost £50,000.
It is hilarious. Well, that's funny in like a cosmic way, there's a lot of that in this. We'll get on to that.
Not funny to anyone watching this that has been the victim of a cyber breach and it's just cost you £50,000. It is not funny. Let me elaborate on Joe's behalf. What Joe is saying is there are aspects of cybersecurity that are whimsical, but people losing their businesses and their livelihoods not funny.
Dante would agree. Divine comedy sort of way. It's not boring. It's incredibly important. It's like
this is the thing, isn't it? It's because I think there's a Hollywood element of cybersecurity, which is it being kind of I don't want to say glamorous, but like fast moving and wow, look at this person.
It's sexy. Come on, they make it sexy.
He's hacking the mainframe while he's on a train. Okay, so randomly I watched The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
That's such a non sequitur. What?
I know. There was a scene where Peter Parker's dad was on an aeroplane and he had to upload a file while fighting a guy on an aeroplane that was nosediving into the sea. And so that is what I'm saying, is that's the kind of Hollywood definition of hacking and cybersecurity and these things that tries to present it as something it's not. But I suppose from an outsider looking in, computers are boring. Who cares about computers? It's boring. I'm not interested in that. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
is cybersecurity boring? Is it amazing?
I feel like I'm doing my IT help desk credentials a disservice by never watching Hackers. You familiar with Hackers?
Oh, yes.
The planet.
Johnny Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie. Yeah. I've seen that movie. I love that movie. But I love it for the rollerblading.
Let's roll with
not the hacking.
Clearly not done enough research. My favorite hacking is swordfish. Oh god,
yeah, so that's
ludicrous.
Yeah, I mean, some of that is very not safe for work.
No, very true.
But yeah, Hackers, amazing movie. Matthew Lillard, is it Matthew Lillard as well? I mean, the cast is incredible. It's so good. Johnny Lee Miller's American accent is the worst American accent ever laid to film. And the hacking is preposterous. The bad guy is so comedy, it's unreal. The movie is amazing for all the wrong/right reasons. It's so terrible, it's amazing.
Yeah, a cult classic with an emphasis on.
But you haven't seen it?
No, I haven't. I just thought I'd throw that out there. I've watched Leisure. It'll come around.
When you were saying Hack the Planet, which is Hackers, I was thinking of Mr. Robot because there's something.
Well, I was going to say something about Rami Malek.
It's not Hack the Planet, but it's something like that.
This is great. This is good. This is good content. Two people half remember things from things. Now I've got to go back. Well, that's the rewatch. It's that. It's Mr. Robot, Hackers. That's on my list. And you, dear audience. No.
Hackers,
at the same time on multiple screens, one of them sideways for no reason, that kind of thing.
It's incredible. The hacking is preposterous.
I love it.
The rollerblading is so 90s. It's brilliant. And the bad guy is so utterly a caricature. It's insane. Like the guy who played the bad guy so leans into his role.
I love a good camp.
It's incredible. And the soundtrack is immense. I don't know how you feel about 90s electronica, but the soundtrack is immense.
I can have opinions if asked. It's okay. I don't know. See, this is the problem with podcasting and this kind of stuff, because now I want to go and watch that or look at that, and I feel like we've actually got other stuff to talk about. And I'm like, no, this is a Hackers deep dive. Let's go.
Oh no, watch Hackers.
I've never seen it.
Don't watch Hackers now.
No, well, yeah, I'm just second screen.
Don't watch it.
It's fine. I can multitask.
And then we can talk about it next time.
And I'll shout.
Right, we'll just pause here while Joe goes and watches
Hackers. Everyone now, pause the video, go watch Hackers, come back. It's fine. It's easy. Time has no meaning.
Okay, so have we answered the question, is cybersecurity boring? Kind of. Anyway, let's move on. And people will make their own minds up.
It's good, yeah. We provide the pieces.
Something I feel that we need to talk about, which I very much have opinions on, is the Online Safety Act 2025. That's like at time of recording has kind of just happened. But I want to hear your opinions first, Joe.
Love it.
Do you have any?
On the Online Safety Act, I'm the only thing I like about it in opinion wise is that NordVPN said that they saw an uptick in users concurrent with when a country of people subscribing, concurrent with when a country has like a dictatorial civil war media blackout. I thought that was they were like, we've had a bumper uptick in people subscribing, and the only time we see that is when a government blacks out its users, and it's all for people being like, I can't get around the internet now.
There's a wider conversation which we won't have today around internet regulation. There's an argument to say the internet needs regulation. There's an argument to say the internet 100% does not need regulation. We can have that conversation another time. But if we just meet in the middle and say the government have a duty to protect its citizens, and they have decided that part of their duty in protecting their citizens is the Online Safety Act, how do their actions actually help or hinder? My feeling on this, and the reason I wanted to get your opinion, is I'm very of the opinion that it's terrible. and it does not actually tackle what they said.
All right.
They're
so
trying
let's qualify that. Let's qualify that.
But if we take what they've said on face value, this is why we are doing this, it does not solve that problem. That's my overriding, feeling with leaving my personal thoughts on regulation, not regulation out. It does not solve the problem that they say they are trying to solve, and that is, for me, is the crux of the issue. I mean, here's the other thing. Without naming names, I know someone that was asked to verify their age on YouTube as a result of the Online Safety Act, and they just Googled 31-year-old man selfie, got a Google image, and uploaded that to YouTube.
I love that.
And used that to verify their age. And, they were not a 31-year-old man. They were younger than that. But, this is the thing. Like, we've not achieved anything with this. All we've done is make it harder for people to access information.
So we're thinking political maneuver, largely ineffectual, pretty bog standard governmental purview, really. It's so very smoke and mirrors, isn't it? It's just, here is a thing that doesn't really do what it means to do, and you're wondering, like, that's what sets off. You talk about dictatorship stuff. That's what sets off the loonies and the conspiracy theorists, right? Is it like, this does nothing and it could be used to limit people's freedoms hypothetically? It's very much that, like, you're halfway right. It's like every conspiracy theory, right? It's like, oh god, there's the jokes, and then there's that this could mean this, and it's just like you said, it's just ineffectual, and they're like, they've just got no hope of legislating. I mean, god, I would really love to know what you think a comprehensive, a bit philosophically, any way to protect the internet, protect anyone on the internet, regardless of children, would look like. Because
I mean, look, okay,
it's $1 million question there, right?
Here's the thing, right? I'm not the oracle. I don't profess to have all the answers to everything and know inherently what our government should be doing to protect us. But here's what I do think. Sometimes it's not the government's job to involve themselves in people's lives to such a degree. The government have a duty of care, but the government isn't our mum and dad. The government isn't there to make sure we get up in the morning and brush our teeth. And so my feelings on regulation of the internet is, no, there should be no regulation of the internet, but there needs to be policing of laws that, if people are breaking the law, then that needs to be dealt with. But, putting blocks on information on the internet is no difference to not letting people in libraries until they prove that they're a certain age. Not, so unless you're going to say to people, you can't buy a newspaper from the news agents unless you're a certain age, then why are we doing it on the internet? We're not blocking information in other places. And if you're saying, well, it's about keeping kids safe online, well, then why are we not doing it in the real world as well? Why are we not being overbearing and protective in the real world? It feels to me like data collection masked as keeping people safe.
I'd agree. I think that's probably what it is. Oh dear. A conclusion. It's what is it? It's useless. Okay.
But
wrap that up in a bow. Yeah, no, I know.
Put your thoughts in the comments, everyone watching this.
Give me some examples of how it protects children.
That's what we want. YouTubers say, isn't it?
Yeah.
Put your thoughts in the comments.
Like, subscribe. Tell us how wrong we are.
Bell. Right. Let's talk about some recent cybersecurity news, and let's try and make it sure it's not dry and it does interest people. So I'm going to let you lead on this.
Yes.
So let me just quickly introduce something. So the government, I believe in Parliament yesterday, you can correct me if I'm wrong, discussed a issue with the Ministry of Defence and NHS breaches dating back to 2023. Is that right?
It is a 2023 report into, cyber security breaches, and we are only just learning about it now. In it contains the infamous Afghan data breach, which we will get on to, but it's one of several. They were forced to, in the course of reveal this whole report, which details quite a few interesting occurrences. But effectively, as an overview, it's the security review titled 2023. It's online, you can find it. It's linked on all good articles about what happened yesterday. But then the appendix goes down, and then the appendices is where I found just the meat of this. If you had to guess out of 11, how many of these do you think are on the Hackerman side? How many are on the Marks and Spencer's? Your grands just giving your password away to a Nigerian prince kind of vibe.
Out of 11?
Out of 11.
I'd say my expectations would be maximum 3 is someone actually hacking and trying to find vulnerabilities in systems. So, and that's a maximum. So I'm being generous here. 3 exploiting vulnerabilities in systems. What does that leave us with? 7? No, 8. 8.
We have ticketing systems to count. We don't need to do maths. It's fine.
User giving access.
Yeah. You would be being generous because, well, as far as I can see, maybe it's WhatsApp's fault as a legitimate one. I mean, I would be generous. Let's lead with the legitimate ones. Let's do that. As far as I can see, there's one from Digital ID, right? That's Greater Manchester Police. Digital ID is a company. They were the victim of a ransomware attack, right? And they just so happened to process the ID records for the Met Police, right? That's a cyber security. It doesn't go into why that happened in the report, interestingly. So that could still be someone giving away a password, which I think is very interesting because this is more of an absence of evidence. But like I said, it's one of the few ones in here. I think it might be the only one in here that is a potential cybersecurity risk. That leaves 10 that are human error. And we can discuss.
That doesn't surprise.
No, it doesn't surprise me. It shouldn't surprise, and it shouldn't surprise you,
which is mad. And this is the thing, because to the layman, they would think that's mad. But to me, that completely is what I would expect. And I was trying to be generous with 3. But you said something about WhatsApp, and we should probably quantify that because we don't want to be getting these desist letters from WhatsApp. What was the potential issue with WhatsApp?
The WhatsApp was in 2020. Confidential information was shared on over 500 occasions during the pandemic through unauthorized WhatsApp groups with 26 staff members. So you're right to double check us. WhatsApp, it's not your fault.
This is right. So there's a couple of things here. So, because firstly, one, I've had this conversation with a client of ours whereby they were using WhatsApp to communicate with. I need to be careful how much information I give here because I don't want to give too much information.
Say all of it, and then
they were using WhatsApp to communicate with people that they contracted for a job. So it's essentially freelancers. They were using WhatsApp to communicate with freelancers. Now, WhatsApp is end-to-end encrypted. So that's good. That's a good thing. Like, we can all agree, WhatsApp communication, secure, encrypted, end-to-end. That's good. But here's the fundamental problem with WhatsApp. That the way you get a WhatsApp account is it's linked to a mobile phone number. So that all that data that effectively you're sending is linked to a mobile phone number. So unless they, as an organization, own that mobile phone number and are giving it to the freelancers, they are using the freelancer's mobile phone number. So the freelancer is coming along saying, I've got a mobile phone. I can join a WhatsApp group. The owner of that data effectively is the user. It's not the organization. So you are effectively moving that data outside the organization, even though it's encrypted, even though it's secure. You are basically uploading data outside your organization to an individual. Now, I understand that people wouldn't get that. They wouldn't make that connection. I get that. But that's what you're doing. You're giving your corporate data to an individual. That's the first problem. And then obviously what you said of accidentally adding people to WhatsApp groups. And here's and this is where systems break down, because I can completely understand why people are like, oh, WhatsApp's secure, but it's not fit for purpose. Businesses should not be using WhatsApp for those purposes, because you're no longer controlling that data. As soon as you've sent it out to somebody, you have no control of that data. You can't make them delete it. You can't make them edit it. You can't make sure that if they upgrade their phone and chuck their old phone in landfill, that data is gone. You have no control. You're moving that data outside of your control. Now, there's an argument. I'm sure there'll be some security analysts watching this going, well, you could make a system that, you know, makes sure that people can't be accidentally added to a WhatsApp group, and you could provide the phone numbers, so you are in control of those phone numbers and whatnot, and you could enroll the handset in a mobile device management scheme, and yes, you could do all of those things, but you know, who does? You know, as we're discussing now, if the Ministry of Defence don't do it, Joe Blogs selling curtain cases doesn't do it.
At what point is this like completely not okay, right? Because we're already like, people might be watching this and going, oh, I thought it was hackers. You're telling me all these people are incompetent. How dare you? And then I feel morally obliged to be like, I made lots of mistakes. I'm not going out there and being like, look, if you're not trained to do these things, if you don't know what these things are, then it's the error of the people teaching you. You know, you shouldn't have been put in that situation. So I don't want to immediately open this up to look at these effing idiots.
There's an inherent problem here, Joe, in that your original question was, to me, was at what point is this an absolute no-no? And the answer is going to be, that's an absolute no-no, but I wouldn't necessarily expect them to know that. And this is where the problem comes, that you need somebody who is managing your policy and your security, who is an expert and understands these things. And that is effectively what we are discussing. Is that my answer to you? When I'll reserve judgment until you ask me the questions. But my answer to you is going to be, in most occasions, I'm going to say, yeah, that's a no-no. But I wouldn't necessarily expect them to know that. They need to employ experts to know that.
Cabinet Office, 2019. Cabinet Office inadvertently published a .gov.uk, comma separated file on gov.uk containing the names of more than 1,000 people and the honours list. Basically, they published this. It was only up for 2 hours and 21 minutes, and it was accessed nearly 4,000 times. Right? Do you have any thoughts on that?
So just bullet point it for me. They've uploaded a CSV somewhere publicly accessible
onto a website,
and
it's got everyone's information in it, like it does. There's the new 2020 New Year's honours list, the New Year honours list.
Okay, well, I mean, I suppose motive. No, not motive. I suppose the question I would have is, did they do it deliberately? Like we want to upload this so people can see it. Was that the intention? They were like, let's let people download and view this. Was it intentionally done? Or
it seems the IT system was set up incorrectly by the Cabinet Office, which meant that the system generated a CSV file that included postal address data, huge timescales, blah blah blah.
I'm with you. So it didn't just have a list of names. It was their
addresses.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of information that we don't have. But That sounds insane to me, that a CSV with that level of data in it could find itself to a publicly accessible server. But yeah, on the face of it, I'd say that if you want to upload a list of New Year's honors to a website, then just literally put their names on a website and why they've been nominated, or, you know, like, yeah, that's what the Oscars do.
Yep.
The Oscars aren't putting people's mortgage details in the envelope.
Well, that's it for things that even slightly what turned out to still be bad, because now we're into in September 2021, 245 applicants for Afghan relocation and assistance policy were emailed in copy rather than blind copy.
For people who don't know what CC and BCC are, like, if you want to copy somebody into an email, there's two ways of doing it. There's doing it so people can see that you've been copied in, and there's a way of doing it the way people can't see that you've been copied in. And there's various reasons for why you would not want people to see that you've been copied into an email address. In recent years, it's more to do with data security, but you know,
and we will see those examples imminently.
20 years ago, it was normally because someone wanted to send a message to an employee and they didn't want them to know that HR had been copied in, because that might ruffle some feathers, you know, and so, you know, but times change. Like Bob Dylan tells us, the times are changing and have changed. And so, yeah, basically, so what you're saying is, rather than being put in BCC, from a data security point of view, they were all chucked in CC, so everybody could see
everybody else.
Everyone, could see.
And good, lovely footnote here, semicolon, profile pictures were also involved. I'm laughing, but I'm not laughing. Incredible risk.
I mean, how? I mean, like, how? I understand you're accidentally copying people to an email, and you've accidentally put it in the visible category rather than the invisible category. But you know that you are sending this email to multiple people. How do you then put profile pictures in?
I've got quite a high bar for, I happen to be, which is probably a good place to pause and say, I happen to believe the best way I learn is by doing mistakes, right? I think mistakes and failure are a vital part of how one learns. And I've having lived as long as I have so far, there's various reasons we won't get into. So I have a certain tolerance for boo-boos that I think other people don't share as much. But that's why I couched this whole conversation like that, because as we're discovering, this is the template for like a lot of other stuff that happens, and it's okay. Really so
it comes down to where you draw your line.
Like,
where do you draw your line of acceptable stupidity versus unacceptable stupidity? And people are going to put that line in different places.
Yeah, they are. In the comments is where they're going to put that. I'd love to know, because no one's going to say you've got to get these things right all the time, but my God. So
we don't know the answer. Maybe that they were doing good work, and then someone came in and asked them what sandwich they wanted for lunch and distracted them, and then they did something silly. We don't know. We weren't there, but we can all agree that measures need to be put in place. Measures and systems need to be put in place to stop certain things happening.
Number 4, the Ministry of Defence 2023.
And get the Ministry of Defence again.
What happened?
Weren't we just talking about the Ministry of Defence?
We were. This is later. That was the Afghan the ARAP.
Can I just say before you continue, the absolute hoops that we as an organization need to jump through to even tender for work with the Ministry of Defense, and then they're just handing out information like freaking flyers at a festival.
In July 2023, it was reported that the MOD had opened an investigation after a, actual air quotes, small number of emails had been misdirected to an email domain registered in the Mali, open brackets, the .ml domain, as opposed to the US military operated .mil domain. Some emails contain sensitive defense research into hypersonic missiles and names of staff working on the project. Causes: human error in inputting email addresses. Yeah. ML, MIL.
Get it.
You're sending you've got your hypersonic missiles and your names of people be like, here's our defense research. And it's not the blind. I like the blind copy. I love .ml and .mil. I love it. How's that make you feel?
I mean, I get it. I understand it. I can see how it happens. Why haven't there? I'm guessing they employ security analysts. I'm guessing they have security people on the payroll. What are they doing on a day-to-day basis? What? Because they're not doing their jobs.
No, they're not.
You've seen Top Gun 2, where they're all just playing pool in the bar.
Yeah,
that's what I assume they're doing. I assume they're like
playing volleyball sweatily on a beach. What do you do? Why not reference the original
with Maverick and Goose? Leaving their security clearances on the table and talking about how important they are, and just sharing data like cookies to any toddler that asks for it at the park. I get that.
This is contained in this is something that I'm assuming should be explicitly contained in other things. In the causes section, I just really like how it says the ICO reported that the IICSA failed to use an email account that could send separate emails to each participant, and failed to provide staff with any guidance or training on the importance of double checking that the participants' email addresses were entered into the BCC field. That is the crux of our conversation. The sentence, crux of one of many conversations happening at once, because hey, neurodivergence. But importantly, they failed to provide staff with any guidance or training. At what point is that not training anymore? At what point should that just be accepted knowledge that you don't do that? And should it have happened before 2017? Probably.
So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
What we're getting from this is organizations need to disable the CC option. So the only option they have is BCC. So they cannot CC. They just cannot. They can't do it. It can't be done. The system doesn't allow it. That's the solution, really, isn't it? Do not give them access to copy people into emails unless it's a blind carbon copy. Done. Tick. Let's go get lunch.
Yeah, I'm actually double checking, because it's funny enough, the start of this is a list of options, right? The whole point of this is a list of options, list of recommendations that the government should be doing.
Block CC. Public sector do not need CC. Only BCC. It solves this problem. There's never a point where they need people to see who else has been copied in. If it's important, they can put it in the email. Oh, I've also copied in this person. It solves that. Tick, done.
That's not
disable it. Disable the option. Don't give them the option.
Last one, because it's funny and we've covered everything else. They all fall under similar things. My favorite one, Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, 2008, fairly old. We're not going to learn a lot from this, but it makes me laugh. What happened? Loss of 2 compact discs containing details of 7.5 million child benefit claims. Causes: auditors have requested a sample of data from the child benefit claimant. Instead of taking a sample, HMRC downloaded details of everyone in the data set onto CDs. The CDs were sent by normal post, comma, with no tracking, and went missing.
So this is 2008.
2008.
Okay, so let's set the scene, because that's a while ago now. So that Northern Rock's about to go under. Housing crisis is starting to rear its head. We've all got our iPods in.
Nice.
Digital media very much exists. Google Drive is a thing. I dare say
not at the HMRC.
SharePoint Online is a thing. Why are we uploading data to CD that is not Taylor Swift Speak Now? Why are we doing that?
Wow. Appropriate time to shout out Randy Pitchford, the CEO of such brilliant games as Borderlands and Aliens Colonial Marines, who famously in 2014 left a USB stick with company data on it, sensitive pay records at a medieval times.
Again, just remove risk. Where you can remove risk, remove risk. Employ people that are going to protect you. You know, like how, you know, famous people have an entourage and they have security. Like, don't just go, do you know what's probably okay? Me just putting myself in loads of risky situations. Be risk adverse, you know, be like, identify risk and remove it.
Some would say zero trust at this point.
Yeah, but not necessarily zero trust. I mean, yeah, sometimes zero trust is a good idea. Sometimes just common sense is a good idea. You know, have you ever seen? Have you heard of a kind of comedy band called The Lonely Island?
I'm familiar with The Lonely Islands.
They have a song which is, I think it's YOLO, like you only live once. And it's an absolute Mickey take of, if you never ever put yourself in situations, nothing bad will happen. And it's like, don't own furniture, they're killing machines and things like that. That is essentially what we're talking about. Like zero trust, there's a place for zero trust in the world. But you gotta be sensible. You know, you don't have to shut yourself away from the world. You just gotta be sensible.
To my mind, the conversation that happened in the House of Commons was about why they've not done these things. And as we've gone through, we haven't even gone through what the actions are, because they might help. But to me, it's just so interesting to see this presented as a, like, should this document be presented to people as like, this is pretty normal, like here's what they're telling you, or this is like, these are unconscionable. It doesn't seem like the discourses around it is like, these are unconscionable errors and what the hell are we doing, you know, despite us on our soapbox over here going, oh my god. Like,
is it fair to say that we've got people in Parliament who don't understand data security trying to enforce data security in organizations that are run by people who don't understand data security? Either are employed above their station and don't understand these things, or don't care.
Thank you for listening. I think that's a pretty comprehensive review of Appendix 2, overview of incidents reviewed of the 2025 final report of the 2023 information security. I don't even know what it's called. This is, oh man, yeah. How's that feel? Any
I think if there's anyone left listening, they're locked in and they're going nowhere. Joe, let's say we're ethical hackers for the day. What are we hacking and why? Like, you know, so for instance, I'm not really into Greg's. I know that people are obsessed about Greg's, but I'm not really into Greg's. You know, what are we doing? We hacking Greg's and making sausage rolls free till 11 a.m. Like, what are we doing to make the world a better place?
That doesn't seem very ethical.
You want to protect Greg's profits.
I do. I'm a shill for the free market that can't defend itself from severe hacking power.
What's your answer?
I had different answers for this, but after our conversation today, I'm like, take over the government seems like the most ethical hacking I can do, and I do mean that in jest, in case MI5 is one of our subscribers. But if MI5, if you are listening, like and subscribe. Leave a link in the comment, description, post, those words. Yeah. I don't know. What about you?
Here's what I do. I try and sort out energy. I try and sort out energy prices in the UK. I'm sick of hearing that Centrica need to increase prices, and yet they've made multi-billions in profit, but it's completely unrelated to consumer prices. I'm sick of hearing that. So yeah, I think I'd hack the energy market and fix prices at a sensible rate, so they have enough for research and development, but outside of that, they can jog on and get in the sea.
While we're at it, the water companies, this is just a hit list at this point. I don't know what we'd hack into them, but my God. I mean, how do you effectively do how in your mind with ethical hacking, how do you effectively provoke change?
Look, the very real conversation here is that these things are not going to change without people initiating a change. Now, I'm not calling for riots in the street, but here's the problem, right? If a million people go and march in London, nothing happens. And here is the problem. There's got to be a grey area between poll tax riots and peaceful marching. There's got to be a grey area there. And Just Stop Oil have not found it, because, you know, they're like blocking traffic and throwing paint on stuff. That ain't it. That's not the answer.
I would like to change my answer to, if I'm like super smart, which, you know, in this hypothetical world, I like to think I am, I would like to sort of do the Fight Club ending where he blows up all the banks, but instead of blowing them up, I would just like to cap all personal account wealth at like 10 million. And the rest of it just goes into an equal share of every bank account, starting with the lowest number across some random algorithm that I choose and I'm morally responsible for. That's like every bank, every registered household is a set unit, and it, you know, there's problems with that are far down the line. But I think you cap. I think the fiscal curbing of billionaires is where I'd start. So call it 100 million, whatever number, some sliding scale, and then we tweak that and we go, oh my God, we've crashed the economy, give the billionaires back their money, or they're all leaving. Or we go, oh, actually all the homeless people aren't dying and they've got jobs and contributed to the economy. My God, we're in a golden age. Everyone who couldn't work and is on benefits that you all hate, all the immigrants that people hate, is, oh well, they're stable and happy and contributing to society. That's crazy. Who would have thought they'd do that if they were financially stable?
The only issue with that I see is that you have one person overseeing this algorithm and deciding, like, you know, this is, you know, that is effectively a dictatorship.
Yeah, it is.
I think if you had, you know, like, look at Bitcoin and where the guy who invented it wants to be anonymous. He doesn't. It's now, you know, out of his control effectively, and he's given it to the world. That's the only issue I see with what you just said. Like one nothing against you, Joe. I'm sure you're entirely trustworthy, but one person being in charge of what happens with that money.
I am, yeah.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Other than the one person part of that, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's diarize it for next week.
All right. Answers in the chat.
When we get to the bottom of our in tray, and once we clear our task list, let's do it.
Yes. Different. Look, tune in next time for a breakdown of different hypothetical political alternatives. I'll get there.
No, next time we're talking about Hackers, the 90s
movie.
classic. Tune in next time for hackers. Tune in the time after that for ethical hacking and what we've done to make the world a better place.